Some people even say, hey, you Native American, why do you do this? This is not your war. This is white people's war. We don't look at it that way. This is our country, America. We want to defend it, just like everyone else. War. It's tough. I wish we could all find a better way to live together in peace and harmony without killing each other. But for the past 1,000 years, we haven't found a solution. But that does not mean we should quit seeking a solution that will make us live together in peace and harmony without killing each other. Yes, war is bad. War is ugly. Jimmy King, he survived after the war. He and I would cry. Jimmy lived, but he was sad. That's, as I said, what we call war. Well, Navajo Code was a very unique World War II legacy. And the 9 of us that are still alive, we have a project. Our project before all of us are gone from this earth. We'd like to build National Navajo Code Talker Museum. Why? Because what we did as Navajo Code Talkers, this unique legacy of World War II, need to be preserved. Thank you. We need to preserve it because what we did truly represents who we are as Americans. We all know America is comprised of a diverse community. We say that, we see it in print. America is a diverse community. Different skills, different talents, different nationalities, different languages. So what we did as Navajo Code Talkers truly represents who we are as Americans. That's why we want to preserve it for our kids and our grandkids. Your kids, your grandkids, all of our kids and grandkids should go through the museum after we are all gone. We also made a calculation that we lose at least 3 Navajo Code Talkers every year. Last year there was 12 of us around this time. Today there's only 9. For sure, next year this time there'll only be 6. Before long, none of us would be here to tell you what I'm telling you. But we like our kids, the future generation, your kids and our kids, your grandkids and our grandkids, to go through that museum and really learn who we are as Americans. We are diverse, yes. Different skills, different talents, different nationality, different languages. But when our way of life is threatened, when things that we cherish most, like our freedom and liberty, we all come together as one. And when we become one, we cannot be defeated. We are invincible. Thank you. That's why we truly believe our museum is important. Chevron Oil Company donated 245 acres of private land to us Navajo Code Talkers and said, here, this land is yours. Build your museum on this land. So we have land, 245 acres. We have architects and engineers working on that land to see how we could develop it to put a museum as well as other businesses to support the museum. We have the land. We have architects working on it. But we need money. So if you have a rich uncle somewhere, tell them we have a museum to build for our kids and grandkids. Something they all and all of us should know who we are as Americans. That's why I'm here talking to you about Navajo Code Talker Museum as well. You know, one other thing, I'm wearing a yellow shirt. You probably wonder why. After the code was declassified in 1968, people began to come at us. You were code talker? Yes. Tell me this, tell me that. Well, there was too many requests like that. So we decided back in those days, back in the 60s and early 70s, there was at least 300 of us or more still alive. So we organized Navajo Code Talker Association, like VFW. So we asked ourselves, what shall our uniform be like as Navajo Code Talkers to identify ourselves? After a lot of discussion, suggestion was made, yellow shirt. Let's wear a yellow shirt to show we were code talkers. Why yellow shirt? Because we took with us overseas yellow corn pollen in a buckskin bag like this. This is a short one. I carried this for personal use. But the one we took overseas had a longer buckskin bag, about that long, full of corn pollen. Before we went overseas, a medicine man, Navajo medicine man, blessed the corn pollen and told us, take this with you into battle. When you get into a real tough situation, use this corn pollen, asking for protection. When you're down in a foxhole with bullets flying 5, 10 inches over your head, mortar shells being dropped everywhere, looks like you're not going to be there for another minute. You take this corn pollen. Usually when you go into battle, you tie this to your dog tag. When you're hunkering down in a foxhole, not knowing how long you're going to be there before you get blown up, you untie this from your dog tag, open it up, take a pinch of it, put it on your tongue, take another pinch, put it on top of your head, take another one, make an offering, asking for help and protection. Of course, down in the foxhole, the other network guy is with you. The English network guy, the blonde-haired kid. He would do this, hey, Chief, what are you doing? I'm asking for help and protection. He would say, may I have some? So let him have some. He does it too. That's what the yellow shirt represents. Yellow corn pollen that we took overseas with us, blessed by a Navajo medicine man. Turquoise necklace. Turquoise is a sacred stone for Navajo. A red cap. We're very proud to have served United States Marines. Khaki pants, representing Mother Earth. Code word for Mother America, Nihilma. Nihilma in Navajo means our mother. That was the code word for America. So, every August 14, from 1982, we dress like this on August 14 of each year. Why? Because President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, declared August 14 to be National Navajo Code Talker Day. Approved by joint congressional resolution to confirm August 14 to be National Navajo Code Talker Day. We always wonder why August 14. We finally were told that August 14 is the official ending of World War II. That's why that day, a special day, is also Navajo Code Talker Day, because the code that was used actually helped win the war. 2001, Congress and President of the United States asked us to come to Washington, D.C., those of us that were still alive. In that rotunda sat senators and congressmen, President of the United States, George Bush. We were there to be honored. President of the United States, George Bush, presented to the Navajo Code Talkers the nation's highest medal, Congressional Gold and Silver Medal, to say thank you to the Navajo Nation for the language that was used. So, on August 14, every year we dress like this, celebrate our Navajo Nation. Sometime later on, state of Arizona and state of New Mexico adopted that same day as State Navajo Code Talker Day. So New Mexico, Arizona, Navajo Nation, we all come together on August 14 and celebrate Navajo Code Talker Day. That's the story that I have for you tonight. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Anyone have a question? Oh yes, before the question, I might also add, you see there are some books over here. There are several books, over a dozen books about Navajo Code Talkers. They have all different titles. They're all good books. This one is called Navajo Weapon. Indeed, Navajo Code was a weapon. I like that book because they're all good books, as I said. This one here, the author did a great deal of research into the matter. So, it tells you why the code was needed, how it was developed, how it was tested, and how it was used in different landings. Also, in this book, you will find at least 90% of all code words developed and used in the Pacific, like the code word for the letter J. and many others, all in there. They're for sale. And my daughter is sitting right there. Her name is Charity. She'll help you if you want to buy one of those. She can help you with it. But you will find all those code words in there. My suggestion is buy the book in the comfort of your home, by your fireplace. Learn what the code words represent. I will also include my email address. When you get comfortable with it, send me an email using Navajo code words. Only you and I would understand what we're talking about. All these hackers breaking into your messages will never break the Navajo code. I have here, this room is full of standing room only. I don't know, have enough, but my daughter and I discussed this. Look, we'd only have just a handful of books here. I want to receive email from every one of these people. So she suggested if you give her your name, address, when we get home, we'll start mailing them out to you. So those of you who not able to get one of the books can get it in the mail within 3 or 4 days after we get home. It's there. Also, there's a postcard, some of it, a picture of myself dressed like this, and I'll autograph it, personally autograph it for you, the books and the photo. That's what we have here this evening. So whenever we finish here, just get around that side, come up here. We'll do the military style, just get in line. And also, go ahead with the question.
Mr. McDowell.
Where is this location? First off, let me thank you for being here, and we all appreciate. God bless all these coast
The location for the museum, it's going to be just east of Navajo Nation capital, Window Rock, Arizona. Navajo Nation capital is right on New Mexico and Arizona state line. So this museum, the property that was given to us by Chevron, is on the New Mexico side, about 20 miles northwest of Gallup, New Mexico. Interstate I-40 runs through Gallup, New Mexico, so it's only about 25 miles north of I-40. Any other question? Yes.
You said something about your Navajo codes being for the words and then also for the semicolons and colons and stuff like that. What about numbers? Did you have a code for numbers, or did you even have to use numbers?
My hearing is shot.
She wants to know about numbers. Numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and code.
Number was the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So numbers were the same. Yes.
My father was 5th Marine Division. He was on Iwo Jima when they raised the flag. I wondered, were you actually on the island or were you communicating from somewhere else?
Were you on the island of Iwo Jima? Were you on Iwo Jima?
No, I was not on Iwo. I was with the 6th Marine Division up in North China. Yes.
Sir, I'm sure that after the initial 29 of you developed your initial code, that additional words were needed. After you developed, how did you develop words that you hadn't developed initially, and how did you disseminate those through the rest of the code talkers?
As I said, initially 260 code words were developed by the first group, memorized. After that, more code words were needed and developed. And any new code words that are developed is disseminated to code talkers that are already overseas in South Pacific. They are sent to a specific island, and that's where they come together, and new code words is disseminated to them and memorized, so we could all be on the same page at all times.
Thank you, sir.
Any other? Yes.
What rank did you hold? What rank did you hold?
What was your rank?
What rank?
The rank was, my rank was corporal. All of us that were code talkers, we can only go up to corporal. Why? We asked the question after the war. They told us that if we were elevated to sergeant or higher rating, we have different responsibility. They want us only to have communication responsibility, so we can only go up to corporal. That's all. That's what they told us. So every one of us came up private first class, and corporal, and everything stops there.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, did you see the movie Wind Talkers, and how much was Hollywood, and how much was what you lived through?
He's asking about Wind Talkers, the movie.
A movie was made of Navajo code talkers. MGM came to the Navajo Nation in the year 2000, asking all kinds of questions about what we did as code talkers. At that time, there were still about 300 of us still alive. We gave them everything. At the opening of the movie, after it was finished, MGM invited us to the opening. We saw the movie. The movie was good, a good war movies. If you love war movies, I mean, shoot 'em up and all out of killing. Of the entire movie, only 10% was regarding Navajo code talkers. 90% was about Nicolas Cage and his problem, whatever that was. We need a good movie like what I'm telling you. That's it.
What makes the Navajo language so much different than the other Native American languages, and how was the decision made to use it opposed to those?
Why was the Navajo language better than the other Native languages?
The question was why Navajo language as opposed to other tribal languages. That was discussed. If you read that book, it'll tell you correspondence back and forth between United States Marine Corps, Department of Interior, Bureau of Indian Affairs. There was a lot of communication that went on as to what tribe could be used after suggestion was made by Philip Johnson to use Navajo. But Marines and others say, why not use some other tribal language? So they did, they looked into it, and they discovered that Navajo language was the only one that very few people knew the language, number one. Number two, because there's going to be attrition. Navajo tribe was the largest than any other tribe. So Navajo is, if Navajo language is used, if some more and more Navajos are killed in action, there's more to replace them with learning the same code. So that book at least says that's